Thanks to Hobbyco for sponsoring this video. The echoes of history ripple through all of Middle-earth. The soil of familiar lands is soaked with the blood of ancient conflicts. And even when only the stone can remember, the naming of these places can carry the legacy of what happened there. The Rohirrim, Horse Lords of Rohan, have long defended their lands from the wild men of Dunland, known as the Dunlendings. During the War of the Ring, the Dunlendings were emboldened by the support of Saruman to once again attack Rohan.
Take back the lands they stole from you.
They attacked Edoras, the capital of Rohan, and drove the Rohirrim back to the safety of their fortress at Helm's Deep. Here the Rohirrim survived in a historic battle, then faced the fearsome Haradrim and their giant Oliphants in the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. These events from The Lord of the Rings echo a deeper history for the Rohirrim. A history where the Dunlendings and the Haradrim drove the Rohirrim from Edoras to the safety of Helm's Deep, at a time when it was yet to even have that name. This new anime film reaches into the history of Middle-earth to tell that tale. The story from which Helm's Deep would get its name and Rohan would forge a legacy. Now it's time to journey back to Middle-earth like we've never seen it before. This is the War of the Rohirrim. Hi, I'm Charlie from Gateway to Anime. We recommend all the best in new anime as well as deep dive into the classics. If that sounds good to you, then you can like and subscribe. If you're wondering why there's a Lord of the Rings anime, we've got you covered. Here's everything you need to know about the Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. The War of the Rohirrim is set 200 years before the events of The Lord of the Rings. It explores the history of the Rohirrim, the horse lords who govern the lands of Rohan. It will also feature Helm Hammerhand, the king of Rohan, after which Helm's Deep was given its name. For anyone familiar with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, many of the locations and iconography will look familiar. Great care has been put into authentically rendering the locations and imagery of Peter Jackson's films, tying the anime directly into the continuity of that original Lord of the Rings trilogy, with Peter Jackson himself returning as executive producer, along with Philippa Boyens, who was instrumental in writing the screenplay for the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. This includes famed Tolkien artists John Howe and Alan Lee returning to work on the concept art for the film. The film also features narration from Miranda Otto, who originally played Eowyn in Peter Jackson's films, and further grounds the tale of Rohan within the film canon. Even the late Sir Christopher Lee is making a surprise return as Saruman, with some archival voice clips being adapted for use in this film. This film features an incredible voice cast, including Brian Cox as Helm Hammerhand, and the rising talents of Gaia Wise and Luke Pasqualino as Hera and Wolf. With Peter Jackson and many of the original creatives set to return, The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim is set to be a faithful new entry into that film canon. Now that we've explained how this film ties in with the original Peter Jackson films, it's time to address the elephant in the room. Why on Middle-earth are they making an anime? There has been somewhat of an anime gold rush in recent years, with many recognisable Western franchises receiving anime adaptations. Classic sci-fi like Star Wars and Terminator, as well as video games like Cyberpunk and TV series like Rick and Morty. The latter was produced by Warner Brothers, who have also been bringing Batman and their DC roster into the anime fold. They've actually been producing anime since 2011 through local Japanese animation studios, adapting popular Japanese manga titles like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. More recently, they've been adapting their Western IP to the anime medium.
Man, what's up, Doc?
While Warner Brothers have a long history of producing animation, the explosive popularity of anime in recent decades has taken it from a niche interest in Western markets to a priority for major entertainment companies like Warner Brothers and Netflix. Earlier this year, James Gibbons from Warner Brothers announced the expansion of their anime production and explained the reasoning behind this apparent gold rush for anime. Because we see the appeal of the category, we are expanding it. Anime is one of the best ways to reach the 18 to 30-year-old audience, which is incredibly elusive. Globally, albeit not in every market, but certainly in the US, parts of Europe and Latin America, we've got strong anime audiences. This is directly relevant for the War of the Rohirrim, as Warner Bros. Holds the film rights to adapt Tolkien's work. This is why this new anime film can share the visual iconography of Peter Jackson's film, and so much of the original team have returned to work on it. But before we go any further, just a quick message from our sponsor. You can return to Middle-earth whenever you like with the Lord of the Rings goodies from Hobbyco. With a huge range of puzzles, board games and more, Hobbyco has plenty of Lord of the Rings activities to keep the fun going. These would make the perfect gift for a Lord of the Rings fan and are a fun way for you to spend some more time in Middle-earth with your friends and family. Hobbyco is for people who take their fun seriously. Hobbyco are one of Australia's most nostalgic and trusted hobby retailers, relied upon by hobby enthusiasts of every kind for almost 90 years. They stock everything from anime figures to model kits and craft supplies, so you'll almost always find something fun and exciting at Hobbyco. These products bring people together with games and activities for you to share with your friends and family. Until the end of January, Hobbyco is offering 10% off all full-price items if you use our promo code GATEWAY10 at the checkout. If you're in Sydney, head into their stores to browse their exciting range, or head to their website at hobbyco.com.au. However you get there, find the perfect gift from Hobbyco. Thanks again to Hobbyco for sponsoring this video. If you want to get a 10% discount, you can use our promo code, which is GATEWAY10. Links in the bio, check them out. Warner Bros. Recently faced legal pressure for not producing enough Lord of the Rings films to fulfill their obligations and maintain the film license, forcing them to fast-track a feature into production. This was bolstered by Amazon acquiring TV rights to Tolkien's work and announcing their Rings of Power series, creating direct competition for Warner Bros. Over the Lord of the Rings IP. The urgent need to fast-track a film was likely part of the motivation to create an anime, as an animated feature is a quicker alternative than a live-action film to actually begin production. Live-action films require far more time in pre-production, planning and scheduling famous directors and actors, as well as scouting locations and building sets, whereas animated features can rapidly enter production, with most of the time spent in the animation and post-production phases. Creating an anime feature also circumvents any unwanted comparisons to the Rings of Power series, which has had a tepid response from critics and has confused audiences as to its relation to Peter Jackson's films. Since facing this legal pressure to produce more films, Warner Bros. Have announced a new live-action film with the working title The Hunt for Gollum, with Smeagol actor Andy Serkis directing and Ian McKellen set to return as Gandalf. Philippa Boyens also confirmed that there are already plans for a follow-up film focused around Gandalf. But while it may appear that this new anime feature may have just been a stepping stone to stave off legal pressure till these live-action films came together, there may be more anime adaptations for The Lord of the Rings yet to come. In the same interview with Empire, Philippa Boyens mentioned that a second anime film is already being considered. We have an absolute banger of a second film that would just be incredible as an anime, but let's see if there's an appetite for it. More than just these legal and financial motivations, the decision to make an anime adaptation of Tolkien's work has creative motivations too. Bringing in a Japanese director and animation team also brings a fresh take to Tolkien's work, leveraging the unique storytelling of anime to offer something fresh amongst a saturated market of live-action fantasy adaptations. This isn't just about using the anime aesthetics. It's about leveraging the unique storytelling and action of anime to tell a different kind of story. In the director's chair is Kenji Kamiyama, best known for directing the Ghost in the Shell series standalone complex, and recently Blade Runner Black Lotus. Kamiyama has had a long history in anime, stretching all the way back to his work as a background artist in Kiki's Delivery Service and Akira. His unique vision and experience producing action-focused anime will bring Middle-earth to the silver screen in an entirely new way. Seeing an anime rendering of Middle-earth is a rare treat that none of us would have dreamed of. With Peter Jackson and many of the original creatives returning, we couldn't be more excited to see The Lord of the Rings make the leap into the world of anime. With a great animation team led by an incredible anime director, I'm excited to see a fresh new take on The Lord of the Rings. Comment down below whether you think The Lord of the Rings is going to work as an anime. And if you've already seen it, then let us know how it was. Thank you so much for watching. This is Gateway to Anime. If you like this content and want to see more, then you can subscribe on YouTube. We also have Instagram and TikTok. If you really like us, then you can join our Patreon. On Patreon, we have exclusive bonus content and behind-the-scenes material, as well as early releases of videos just like this one. If you like what we do, Patreon is the best way to support us. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.